Hey, okay, so we're online to not think about that thing that you were thinking about. Don't think about it. Don't think about that thing you were thinking about. Definitely just think about whatever I'm talking about. I was thinking about dolphins earlier. Dolphins, I don't know, we say that they're messed up because we're like, oh, they're capable of evil, and sharks aren't capable of evil because sharks don't have consciousness, and so they're just neutral. But like, how do we know that sharks don't have consciousness? Just because they don't replicate the same cultural structures as humans do, but neither do dolphins because humans make way more structures than dolphins. And I don't know, dolphins do some messed up things. You probably know already. This is like a very common fun fact. Dolphins are evil. I don't know. Are humans evil? I think, if humans are evil, sure. Sure. Like, we can say that. Then I think arguably, I mean, it's arguable how conscious anyone really is when they're doing something that you can think of as evil, but I don't know, and I don't mean to trigger like any religious stuff that you have. Like I know this can be a sensitive subject. It's a very powerful word that has been used to do some very powerful things, and not all of them good. Maybe later we can do tarot reading because I'm seeing the cards down here. I don't know. I'm gonna like literally pull out this book. Yes, because I am an idiot. And it's a beautiful thing. Really, like so much of the ego is wrapped up in intelligence, and the intelligence gets us somewhere for sure. Don't get me wrong. Um, what is that song? Being clever never got me very far. Oh, Florence and the Machine. Dancing, or it's called Free. She's talking about how she's going crazy basically, and I love the line. Uh, oh, what is it? She's talking about being like, oh, it's on your head, you're too sensitive, they said. I said okay, but let's discuss this at the hospital. And it's great. It's like, yeah, it's just totally when you're going through it like that, you're like, I'm like, I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy. I know this is all in my head, but unfortunately, that is part of where I live. But there's a lot of research now coming out about how the brain is not the center of the brain. It's not the brain. It's not you. It's like the whole nervous system. And I'm doing this painting right now. You won't be able to see it. It's covered in words right now. But the lighting, like the words, it's so soft. And then I'm doing charcoal over it. We'll see what happens. It's a very like intuitive process, but this one I haven't. I know that when I do the charcoal, if I want to erase the charcoal, it will erase the words. I did a test. I'll show you the test. Or will I? Yeah, I'll show you the test. I know you love a good visual. So here is the pen I was using. And then here's when I erased it. It still left a mark. That's okay. It just means that I'm a little nervous to start it. So I'm doing this whole fast talking thing to kind of like keep you engaged. I know there's not enough visuals. I don't know, I can like do like, oh, fuck. Oh, sorry, I said I wasn't gonna swear. I always swear. I'm so bad. um, so I was saying about the dolphins and evil, and then I was like, yeah, I don't want to trigger religious stuff. There's a guy outside who keeps screaming like 2 nights in a row now, just screaming up a storm, and I'm like, this is city life. It's a beautiful thing, but I do wonder what he's screaming about. I've gone out and like looked over the balcony, but I can't see him. Or maybe he doesn't use he him pronouns. Maybe he uses they them or something. All these woke. I can't keep up. And I got this stone. It's opalite, but apparently opalite is synthetic, and that does make me feel like it's not legit. But I'm like, I don't know if opal actually has the properties of They said it helped with like clarifying spiritual vision, but I mean it's so small. Like even if it did actually help, I don't know. So I'm going to explain how the process of crystals works from my point of view as someone who is like bought in to the. I got this guy, this little Freudian, but isn't it gorgeous? It's got fiber optic properties, but the top isn't. The top isn't polished, so you can't actually see through, but you can see. Oh goodness! And what is this? This is selenite. Selenite. And this is supposed to be like energy, which makes a lot of sense to me. And I think it's been working because I've been making a lot more art than I was. Anyway, so the crystals, like when you're using them, it doesn't feel directly like you'd think it's, I don't know, like I turn on my phone screen, I get a hit of dopamine, and I'm hit with like sensory information. When I use the crystals, I don't feel anything. Like when I'm using the crystal, I have before. I was at this job, and then I was doing this crystal healing at the job, and they were like, "What is the crystal saying to you?" And immediately as I touched the crystal, uh, it said, "You need to get out of here," and I was like, crazy, and I got this wave of fear rushing over me. Anyway, then I got laid off before the job actually started. I had been volunteering anyway. What was I saying? Crystals, yes, when you use them, it doesn't feel most of the time like anything is happening. It just feels like later, if you think of like my reality as like a tree, quantum branching, how do I know? Like all of them may be happening, but I'm only experiencing some branches. Why is that? When I choose chocolate and vanilla, I don't live in the world where I chose vanilla. I live in the world where I chose chocolate. And there's another me, you can argue, that lives in the world where I chose vanilla, but why am I not experiencing both? Sometimes I do feel like I'm experiencing both, but I'd love to be able to do that without feeling like I'm having a psychotic episode when it's over. I don't know. It's hard to balance. There's eras of history where I would have been burned as a witch, or not burned, but killed as a witch. There's eras, I mean, it's kind of sensational. Anyway, there's eras of history where I would have been deeply, deeply, what is it? Isolated from society, like shunned by my society, and there's eras where I would have been celebrated as a priestess or shaman, something. Anyway, but now we're in the period where I was watching Gabor Mate, and he was saying about Joan of Arc and how she heard God talking to her, and the king was saying, this was in, I think, what was it, Bernard Shaw made a play about Joan of Arc. This is what he was saying. He loves to quote a book. Like that's honestly 50% of what he's saying is him trying to find the passage in a book he read. Which makes me feel very much like, your grandpa vibes. Anyway, Joan of Arc. The king says to her when she comes, saying what they should do, what she's heard from God, why does God not talk to me because I'm the king? And she's like, God does talk to you, you just don't listen. And that is so freaking real. Because, like, I swear to God, this voice is there all the time. And we just spend a lot of energy, honestly, tuning it out. And we're taught to tune it out. A lot of conscious teaching of the ego, building of the ego, is to tune out the inherent connection with God. Anyway, I wrote something about it, but I can't. Okay, I can't look on my phone because you are my phone right now. But I was writing. Someone says, where's God? I once took everything that I could into myself in a great devouring. I said, I am that tree, I am that rock, I am that chair, I am that person, I am that animal, to everything that I saw, because I wanted to be one with everything. And then there was a great nothingness beyond me, and I said, I am the nothingness, but still remained. What? So I fell in love with God, because what else was there left to do? God is the thing that no matter how much I devour can never be the self. And when I look out and see something, I needed a name for it because I'm a human and I cry out to you. It's my way because I love you and I needed a name for you. And if I look out and see nothing beyond myself, then who am I? That's roughly, I didn't get the wording exactly right. But yeah, okay, so no, I can't. Okay, let's do a tarot reading. So what I do when I read tarot, this is my French deck that my grandmother gave me. It's from the 70s. Yeah, 1970. Copyright 1970 by S.R. Kaplan. And I would love a new deck because, oh, pause for truck. I would love a new deck for a variety of reasons. The symbolism on this one leaves something to be lacking. Also, they call it a game, so I feel like there's some, there's some not great implications of this, but it's the one that I have, and you have to be gifted them. So we're gonna do two. Sorry, I can't. There was one of the cards in this was not right in the deck. Oh, here it is. It's the advertisement. Tarot cards for fun and fortune telling. Yeah. Anyway, we're working with what we got. Frick. Okay, so 3 just fell out, and I was gonna do a 3 card spread. So here we are. I think it should be, yeah, past, present, future, which one's on top? So here is what we got for past, justice. And I know that she, yeah, is about intuition, and I'm trying to do it without looking in the book. Yeah, about intuition and justice, obviously, and it's feminine. She's the 8th? I need to, frick, I just outed myself as being bad at Roman numerals. And the reason why I care about that is because certain very attractive men that I am interested in really like Latin, which I think is kind of embarrassing for them, but even more embarrassing for me because I'm attracted to them. Anyway, that's the past. So I guess this is a reading for the collective. Because I certainly wasn't thinking about just myself. Queen of Swords. I don't know about her. I used to only do with the Major Arcana, but now I'm like Minor Arcana. Okay, so Major Arcana versus Minor Arcana. This is like set. She's your freaking fate. This one is like kind of more, pause for motorcycle. Kind of more up to you. Like, so this is our present. Oh my god, I'm getting the book. My other grandmother gave me this book to borrow. It's gonna take me a second, and I'm gonna try to keep you entertained while I look, but I'm not that good at multitasking, and I don't know. So I'm at the cups, and I can't remember if cups is before swords. I think it might be. No, cups is second. Yeah, swords. Queen of Swords. Analytical thinker and advisor. Also, this is like both of these. It's so. When was this written? Where do we see that? I wish that they had to put it in a specific place in a book. Like, copyright 2003. Hey, my birth year. Some books don't have all the publishing information in them, which is really frustrating to me. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to remember that when I finish my poetry book. To put all the... I mean, there's not a lot of... It's me. It's just me. Queen of Swords, analytical thinker and advisor, and she was upright. I'm sure you know the cards read differently reversed than they do upright. Okay, so in this one, she's not... The imagery on this deck that they say is different, so we can't interpret that. We'll have to interpret the imagery ourselves. I mean, she's just chilling, like no clouds. She's standing. She's holding one arm up. She's got the sword. The sword's kind of pointed towards herself. Honestly, it doesn't look like a great... She's doing this very interesting, very slur, insert slur, queer slur here, kind of grip on the sword. Can you see? Yeah. And she's like, hey. The upright sword represents spirit penetrating matter and informing us. It's more like matter penetrating spirit, no? And informing us with knowledge. I guess if the cards are spirit. I mean, yeah, still. Anyway. She's got a sharp mind, and she can be an excellent teacher or lawyer or counselor. So it's very like logic. Leader, public speaker, organizer. Obviously, feminine energy. Continuing. The card indicates a woman of strong character, but also one who's seen many hardships. I mean, who among us? She bears her sorrow well. She's adept at handling loss too, and knows how to deal with the most difficult of human conditions. And with her clear and direct way of speaking and addressing issues, the Queen of Swords is a good psychologist. I need to not read too much into that as like a profession. I'm doing art school right now, and that's what's happening. Okay, now for the future. This is the one that I think I put a little too much emphasis on sometimes. So we gotta remember to be... Don't focus too much on the past is a rule everyone knows. Focusing on the future is good. If you need to focus on one of them, future is good when past was less than ideal. But lately I've been trying to, when I need to focus on future, I think about a future where I don't have to focus on the future anymore, and I can be in the present, because the future is coming, but here is all that you'll ever have. When it comes, it'll be here. And focusing on the gap there's a whole thing in law of attraction, which, I have complicated feelings about. Yeah, I've spoken on this before. The difference between wanting something and having something already, feeling as though you want something is actually manifesting the lack of it, not the thing itself. So you have to be the person already who has the thing. Not in a fake to make it way, but just, I've got it. Whatever it is, it's me. It's not coming to someone else that I'm gonna be tomorrow. It's coming here. If not already here. Which, there's a good chance it's already here, because I'm creating my own psychic reality. That's the idea anyway. So, so that one's a little scary. There's yeah, so it's the house of God in the literal translation, but I think they call it something else. 10 plus 5 plus 1, 16. And I'm so self-absorbed because I keep looking into the screen, not the little camera. But you're just so small in there. I really think they need to make it like look like an eye or something. Like there's a reason we have irises. Like I'm looking into the eyes that I see. That's what I was socially programmed to do. Yeah, so it's the tower. But honestly, like the House of God is a much more hardcore, like, okay, so it was upright. So yeah, so it's like a sudden, oh, I was gonna do it without reading the book, but it's too late. Yeah, so it's change. It's change, it's things falling apart. Man, oh man, look at this card. A bolt of lightning has struck a gray tower, setting it on fire. Well, so this is different in our imagery. I think about the Tower of Babel. Yeah, the Tower of God or the Tower of Babel. Oh my, look at me. This is why you should trust my reading, because, yeah, I'm prophetic, clearly. Unexpected events that can change your life or your perception of things. The clearest aspect of this card is the element of surprise. Global has come up for global events that shocked the world. Oh my god, and then they were talking about 9/11. But it might be a wonderful expected event. So I feel like we can, yeah, so I think reading this for the collective, I think this is very, like, political, I see, in terms of, like, okay, I want to read Justice now, because I didn't really give, like, all, no, I'm not going to. Okay, so yeah, so, like, I see law and reason and order still kind of, sorry, what order is this for you? I can't remember if it flips. Okay, so it's like, yeah, law and order triumph, and then we're dealing with grief, and I mean, this is kind of like very similar vibe. Someone tell me who knows more about this, like what you would say the main, like they're both holding swords. But I think that I'm seeing the difference between this one is like she's handling herself. And there's a spiritual thing happening where she's let go. I mean, in this symbolism, there's like she's got like her little knight's armor underneath, and she's holding the scales, and then the scales are gone, the armor's gone, is kind of like a stripping. Also, her neckline is a lot lower. There's a kind of like revealing vibe. This is, sorry, I'm so uneducated. I just need to stress. And then this is a real break. So something new coming. I think we can all feel it. I've heard other artists that I know talking about how they feel like something big is coming. It's undeniable, like global warming, the state of US politics, the state of, the wars that are going on, the genocides, and the internet connecting us all. And I think we're all a lot more, culturally, we're still catching up to where technology, like we're kind of in that shock period still, where we're like, wow, things are a lot different than they used to be. And the old ways are hanging on because they say, there's, what is it, an Egyptian saying? That the soul moves at camel's pace. That no matter how fast the material world changes, our souls do things on their own time frame. So that doesn't mean that technology is just going to keep going and outpacing. It means that there's a processing that needs to happen. And I think we're in the beginning stages of seeing, Hank Green, I'm such a shell for Hank Green, has a great video about how technological revolutions feed the rise of populism. That is one of my favorites. Of his recently. He's been doing, really good stuff. Didn't expect him to be one of the ones that stuck around and got really good. So I started off this video being really quick because, I know that you're avoiding some stuff. That's why you're here. And you can't just, go cold turkey. But I want to slow down now. And center ourselves. And I want to pray. And if God isn't a word that works for you, absolutely no judgment. It doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to be the image of God as you know it. When I speak of God, I'm not speaking of that thing that was externally forced onto you by an institution or through trauma, through violence. I'm talking about that thing that you know, that's always there, it's in your gut, and it connects you to something greater than yourself. And it's the thing that created the universe. And there's so much baggage, and we can just yuck, get it off, no, I don't want any, just clearing out anything that isn't the truth for you, isn't that core, there's something totally centered, totally you. Anyone who told you that this thing is, that the connection with this is a decentering of the self, it's not that thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about the thing that when you come back to yourself, truly, not the self that you want to be, not the ideal self, but all of you, the wholeness of who you are. when we come back to that, the feeling is of sovereignty, but it is not of isolation. It is a sovereignty that allows me to connect with everything outside of myself. And there's something divine in the way that it doesn't have to choose between being the other and being the self. It's both. And it is the thing that I love with every piece of my being. Oh, you're the man again. I hope he starts yelling. And I'm breathing the way that I want to, with my body. That's not a judgment about how you should be breathing. I wish I could tell you the answers, because I know that you feel lost a lot of the time, and lonely, and the child self cries out for the parent that it didn't have. And there's so much grief there. I'm sorry. Sometimes the grief is so heavy on my soul that I can't cry. Because the crying itself is an admittance of what has passed. And often I don't believe that I could live in the world as it is. And God does not bring peace as I know it to be a material phenomenon where the chemicals in the body are in an equilibrium state and we feel, the flooding or the ecstatic or the serenity, whatever material peace means, is not promised in the love of God. And that is a hard echoing of the grief of childhood. Often I question. My faith hasn't wavered in a while in God. but often I question the path that I'm on. And I don't mean to say that I feel as though I've chosen one path. It's metaphorically just, whatever reality I'm experiencing, I would call the path the experience of time I have in that reality. The experience of past and future, which are a lot more malleable in fact than I thought. I've experienced the reality that I'm in shift in the past, like the roots of the tree branching out. But if you open yourself up to the greater mystery, you are surrendering. There is no power for the ego there. The ego will not get what it wants. The ego will die. And if you want to die, there is an answer for you in that. But it is not the ego's answer of safe comfort. It is the self answering, I see you. Like, I see you. And it's not pretty. And it feels like good and bad in your head. Good, bad, evil. Or, good, bad, evil, wherever you want to put them. Or just good, bad. And then that other thing. There's another thing that doesn't fit in the dichotomy or trichotomy. There's that thing that is truly unspeakable. And God will show you that thing. And there's free will in it. There's always free will in it. You don't have to go down any path. And when you're going down the path, it doesn't have to be one path. It won't be one path. It will feel like the branching itself. My only aim in this is to be with you in the most full, honest way that I can. And there's the cynical part that goes, what is honest anyway, when no objective truth can be determined? And I say to that, shh. I feel. Honey, put down the guns, you don't have to keep speaking. Honey, I can feel every sound. Honey, have you heard the news? The point of the game was to play. There's no wrong side of the blade. Those clothes don't fit someone so naive. Go on and let them see your shame. They're all looking anyway. You still shake when you're afraid. So join in. Your hand won't fade. Join in. join in, for all is change. Join in, join in. I love your pain. It's not going to feel over because it's just a continuation of the life. And I know that you can do it. Not the thing that the ego fixates on, but the thing that is being the self, that is the calling, the true calling. And you don't have to believe that you can. Because this is just the pattern unfolding. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern full of suffering. And we're here together, even though it doesn't feel like it a lot of the time. I really, really love you. And it looks like the sun might rise tomorrow.